Welcome back, guys. This is Python test driven development. In the last video, we went through the problem statement and we defined how we were going to solve the problem as well. And if it was not clear to you guys in the problem about if it was not clear about how we are going to solve the problem, don't worry about it. We are going to uh, be defining each of the methods and all the functions in the upcoming videos. We are supposed to write, we are supposed to start working on the member class in this video, but the thing is, I need to talk about a small concept in Python called virtual environments. Uh, just just so you guys are clear about the virtual environments, the whole concept behind virtual environments. So I'm just going to go over virtual environments real quick. So there's this site called Real Python. I'll leave the description below. Anything that I'll leave the link in the description below. Anything that you want to look for, if it's related to Python, you can just go to Real Python and it will be there. Trust me, it's very useful, guys. It's a very nice website for Python. So if you want to look for virtual environments, then just type virtual environments Real Python, then click on the first link, and this is virtual environment, right? So what is a virtual environment? Basically, let me just, I will not go through the whole context over here, but what is a virtual environment? If you worked with Node.js before, you know about package.json and node modules, right? So what happens is you hit npm install something and you get a list of node modules, and there are other package managers as well, right? There's like you know you get for PHP, I think it was Composer. I haven't really used PHP, but it was Composer, I think. For every programming language, you will have a package manager and it installs some dependencies. For Python, uh, so let's just say in Node.js, what happens is when you install the dependency, it gets installed in your local folder. But in Python, when you hit pip install something, right, pip install whatever, it actually goes into the main folder of your, it goes into the main site folder, as in, let me just open this real quick, and let's just say when you hit pip install any package, right, it goes into the whole the core library folder. Wherever your core libraries are stored, that's where it goes. So when suppose you're working on a web development project and you need Flask, and suppose you're working on another web development project where you need Django, right? You hit pip install Flask, you get Flask. You hit pip install Django, you have Django. But the thing is, both of those libraries are installed in the same site packages folder, which is your core site packages folder. But in reality, whenever you're programming the Django part, you don't need Flask, and when you're working on Flask, you don't need Django. It's the same thing for all Python programs. You only need a set of dependencies for a particular project, right? So that's where virtual environment comes in. What virtual environment does is it creates a copy of all the site packages um, that you have in your core, and it creates a copy of that and creates another folder, right? It creates another folder, and inside that folder you're going to install everything, every dependency that you need, and it will not affect your core site packages. So it will so basically it's like sandboxing your code. Your code will basically have all of its dependencies inside a virtual environment, and it will not go outside the virtual environment, right? So with that being said, you know what virtual environments are now. So look at two ways of creating a virtual environment, right? uh, okay, rather than looking at real Python, I think I should actually teach you guys how to do it. So let me go into a new terminal over here. So there are two ways of creating virtual environment. One is through virtual env. So let's go into learning over here. Let's create a new directory called testpy, right? And we're going to say we're going to navigate into testpy, right? And now, without the virtual environment, let us look at the code without the virtual environment. I say python, I sorry about that, this is python 2. Let's say python 3, and we say import numpy. We don't have numpy here, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to install numpy. But hold on, this will install it in the global site packages folder, right? We don't want that. So what we're going to do is we're going to install have something called virtual env. Do we have it? Yep, we have it. And I think the installation for virtual env is pretty simple. How you install virtual env is how to install virtual env in Python. Just type that. Just go into virtual envs. Sorry about that, guys. So these are all the instructions to create virtual environment. You do pip install virtual env, right? That's all there is. Once you have that, you'll have this command called virtual env, right? And once you have that, what you can do is you can create a virtual env called venv, and it just created a virtual env called vn. If you do ls, then this is where your virtual env goes. So if you go into venv, you'll see bin, lib, and all that, right? So go inside lib, you have python 3.8, which is the main executable. I mean, not the main executable, it's the library. So go inside bin, and you see all of your executables here. Python 3.8 is the version of Python in virtual environment. You have activate, so we're just going to call activate. You do source activate to activate this, and now you're inside the virtual environment, right? So let's install numpy real quick. So if we install numpy, oh, it's going to take some time, guys. I'm not going to install that. So let's install a lighter package called matplotlib. Is it inbuilt? I'm not sure. Yep, it's there now, and it does install numpy as well. Okay, so there's a lot of packages that are installed. So if you remember, actually we checked for numpy. So let's just do this. Let's import matplotlib. You see it works, right? Now let's hit deactivate. We are outside the virtual environment. Hopefully there's no. So if we import matplotlib, okay, basically matplotlib is installed everywhere. So I think we're going to do a source bin activate over here. Okay, source venv bin activate over here, and let us look at a dependency that we don't have right now. So let's say import flask. I don't think we have flask, right? Yep, we don't have flask. So let's install flask. It's a pretty light library, and now we have flask over here. Now if we do python and we say import flask, we have it. Now let's go out of the virtual environment and we say python again. It was python 3, so it's going to be python 3. So if we do import flask, we don't have flask, right? So because The Flask library was only installed inside venv. You can check it out. You can actually go inside venv. We can go inside bin, and you can see Flask was installed here. So our library was installed inside the virtual environment over here, right? So that's how virtual environment works. Now guys, there's another concept called virtual environment wrapper, right? We already have a virtual environment, and the virtual environment, as you can see, is a local folder over here that we created. When we do virtual env, we have a local environment, we have created a folder over here, right? And inside our folder is where everything lives. If we want to activate it, we go to source venv bin activate. We are inside the virtual environment. If you want to deactivate it, then we just hit deactivate and we're out. But if you notice, vn is a very, it's kind of like not organized in a proper way. Instead, Python, what it did was, instead of having to create a folder and then going inside the folder and activating it, it takes care of all of that. So we're going to look at something called virtual env wrapper, right? Installing virtual env wrapper, right? So virtual env wrapper. So what is virtual env wrapper is, it's basically like, I'll tell you guys what it is. Let me just, so the first thing you do is install python pip install virtual env, this guy, virtual env with virtual wrapper ubuntu. That's pretty cool. Once we do that, we create a directory, and this is where things happen, guys. So we need to set all of that and work on home, all of that. So let me just show you guys. First, you install, you already have pip, you already have virtual env. You're going to create a folder called virtual envs, right? So even in my case, what I have is, I have folder called virtual envs over here. So these are all of my virtual environments that I've created. All of them, instead of going inside a particular folder, they go inside the virtual envs folder. Now we need to make it so that all the virtual envs that are created go inside the virtual environment folder. How do we do that? So we install virtual env wrapper first. Just do pip install virtual env wrapper. Then what you do is, inside your basically you export work on home, because virtual env wrapper basically works on home. It's like this. So instead of doing venv something, right, this activate, what you can do is work on, let's say, login module. So you see, we're inside the login module virtual environment, and we can simply do deactivate. How easy is that, guys? Pretty easy, right? Nothing much to do there. Just simply type work on, and you have a virtual environment ready. So basically work on works pretty much, and we're going to set the home for this work on. So whenever we're going to type work on, it's going to look for the virtual environments inside this particular folder, right? And we export that. So the best way to do it in your Linux is, there's something called bash rc, right? In case of Mac, we have bash profile, and it's not in my bash profile, it's in my zshrc, because I use zshrc. And as you can see, my work on home directory is virtual envs, right? And then the next thing that we're going to have is, we're going to need virtual env wrapper.sh. So when we install virtual env wrapper, it also gets a virtual env wrapper.sh. So it's probably going to be this folder right here. If you don't know, if you can't find it, you just do which, which virtual env wrapper.sh. and you'll get the whole location of it. So that's going to be your virtual name wrapper, and you're going to have to export that as well, right? So to export that, what you do is go into your bash rc or your zshrc, and you're going to export virtual name wrapper python, and you're going to okay, you don't really need that, but yeah, so you're going to source that. Sourcing means basically executing each and every line in the virtual name wrapper.sh file, right? So just write source and then paste in whatever value you got from which python, and then you have you have it ready. Your virtual name wrapper is ready, and now what you can do is, instead of doing virtual env and creating a virtual environment, you can simply use mk virtual env, and then you can pass in the python that you want, user bin python 3. If you don't know which python version to use, just use which python and you get user bin python, but I'm using python 3, so which python 3, this is the location of my python 3, right? So what I'm going to do is mk virtual env minus p, and this is going to be the python value right here. I'm going to say test env. Now I'm inside test env. If I want to deactivate, I can simply click on deactivate. So I am going to leave a description, leave a link to this particular blog post written by Mr. Aditya Chabra. Thank you so much, Aditya, for making it so easy. I'll leave a link in the description, guys. You can check him out and follow the steps closely. I mean, follow each and every step. And that's it, guys. So this video was all about setting up virtual environments. The next video we're actually going to start modeling our classes, and I'm a little quiet right now because it's pretty silent over here and can't be really loud, so hope you guys understand. So if you like the video, please press the like, share and subscribe button, and see you guys in the next video. Bye.